jobs. Policies where we put the faith back in the American people. And we've seen now, if you look at policies that allow for businesses, if you look at policies that rely on government spending, government distribution of dollars, it doesn't create wealth, it doesn't create prosperity, it doesn't create jobs. We've tried that. We've spent nearly $1 trillion. And Julie Lassa's been the chair of the Economic Development Committee in Wisconsin. We've lost 150,000 jobs since she's chaired that committee. I mean, this is an utter disaster. We need to put our faith back in the American people so they can expand and grow their businesses. They can know that there's stability in the marketplace. So when they do expand and grow, they can take that uncertainty out and focus on being as productive as they possibly can.
Sean, if I could ask you the same question I asked Newt. Julie Lassa is trying to tie you to statements that Mr. Gingrich allegedly made about Social Security, privatizing it, and her words were letting, and she said it was his words, letting Medicare wither on the vine. Are you worried that you're going to be tied to Mr. Gingrich's statements now, or are you worried that this might backfire on you somehow?
I'm running on my ideas and my beliefs and my vision. What I find interesting about that comment is that Ms. Lassa must believe that those who support her, she is fully in favor of their ideas and their beliefs. And when Steny Hoyer comes and campaigns for her, she must be of the opinion that she's stock and barrel, right in line with what he believes and what he's voted for. And she can take that position, and if she's in favor of all the Democrats have done in Washington, so be it. But for me, there's a lot of people who supported my campaign. And it's a campaign that has been based on a vision and ideas, and we welcome the support. But that doesn't mean we embrace every idea and policy of those who supported us. You can look at the kind of national support we've had, and those who supported us, they all have different beliefs, all different ideas, and they're competing. So to say that my ideas are the same as everyone who endorses me is just utterly false. But for Julie Lassa, I think it's interesting that she embraces the ideas of those who support her.
Are you in favor of privatizing Social Security?
No, my position on Social Security is this. We have to make sure that those who have bargained for their Social Security and are in retirement, they get exactly what they bargained for. Those who are about to go into retirement, they get what they bargained for. We have to make sure that that is secure and safe because they've planned to have that in their retirement. But I look at guys like me that are in their 30s and 40s, this system's not going to be there for us. So I believe that we have to have an aggressive approach to analyze the program and say, how do we shore it up to make sure this great program is here for my generation? Or we're going to pay into a system and we're going to get nothing out of it. I don't mind putting all items on the table and taking a hard look at them and saying, how do we reform the system to make sure it works? And I look at folks like Paul Ryan and his Roadmap for America. Some people say, well, you endorsed all of Paul Ryan's plan. Well, the truth is no, I think the vision of Paul Ryan's plan is say, let's talk about ideas on how we move America forward, how we solve the problems that we face. That's what I support. I support a dialogue. And I guess Julie Lassa, she can throw barbs, but I guess I haven't seen her proposal. And if you look at someone who endorses the plan of Steny Hoyer, he has taken $500 billion out of Medicare. So don't come and tell me that you're going to shore up Medicare and Medicaid when you're taking money out of it, out of Washington, D.C.
House Minority Leader John Boehner has mentioned raising the Social Security retirement age to the age of 70. Are you in favor of that?
I haven't come out and endorsed that at all. And the bottom line is, I'm not running on the ideas of the leadership in Washington, D.C. Frankly, if when I got involved in this race, most people in Washington, D.C. and all over said I was crazy. And we built the campaign from the grassroots up. And I'm running to represent the people here in northern Wisconsin and be their representative. I'm not going to represent the Republican Party or their ideas. I'm going to go talk about my ideas and to represent all the people here that are going to send me to Congress.
Is it safe to say then, Mr. Duffy, that you're charting an independent course, if you will, charting a new course that would be dramatically different than perhaps others are trying to force upon you?
I'm charting my own course, that's right, and I'm not going to be pigeonholed into anyone else's ideas. But I think a conversation about ideas and vision is important. We face serious problems, and I believe that we should have a real conversation on how we solve those problems, and we shouldn't throw bombs. But I do think records matter, And if you look at Julie Lassa as the chairperson of the Economic Development Committee, someone who has raised taxes and fees by nearly $5 billion, and we've lost 150,000 jobs. That's a horrible record. And if she wants to run on jobs in the economy, have at it, but her record doesn't lie. It's pretty clear.
And Sean, how are you going to create jobs? Can you give us some examples if you're elected?
The bottom line is, I can create jobs. And that's the problem in Washington and Madison. The private sector creates jobs. We have to have an environment where job creators can flourish and grow. And I think you can't say I love jobs, but start shooting the job creators. And that's what's happened here. We got to encourage policies that keep our Wisconsin businesses right here in Wisconsin. But not only that, we have to understand that this is a global economy. Capital can go anywhere in the world. It can go to China and India and Mexico and Vietnam, just as well as it can go to Minnesota and Iowa. Why is it going to come to Wisconsin? We got to have policies in Wisconsin and in the United States of America that encourage businesses to set up shop here. And I think, New was talking about some of his ideas. They have to be pro job creator policies to get them to come here and take advantage of, I think, one of the best workforces in the world, which is what we have here, most productive workforces and smartest workforces in the world.
You said you wanted to put options on the table for Social Security ideas. Is privatization one of those? Or
I'm not coming out with a plan right now.
is it one of the options you think should be
What I'm
looked
saying
at?
is, I want to look at everything out there. At this point, I want to talk about the whole gamut of ideas. And through that debate, we're going to come up with the best programs and plans to save Social Security. But what's off the table is any kind of reduction of Social Security or Medicare to our seniors. They've bargained, they've paid, they've relied, and now they should receive. And I think a lot of folks like to throw bombs at Republicans and say they're going to take the health care away over seniors. But the truth is, the Democrats and Julie Lassa's policies have jeopardized those benefits more so than anything Republicans have done.
Mr. Duffy, can you, in general, give us your feelings or your beliefs in regards to the health care bill as it was passed, being that it was one of the few bills in history that was ever passed as a framework that has constantly papers given to it every day, more laws added to it every day, having only been voted on once, it's going to end up being thousands and thousands of pages more than it is
I believe
because it was a framework.
Yeah, I believe we needed reform, no doubt. But I believe we need a reform that would actually reduce cost and increase access. And I think this is a bill that passed that is going to change who pays for care, but doesn't do anything to fundamentally address the root causes of why prices are going up. I think we needed insurance reform, and we also needed healthcare reform, and I think injecting free market principles into the healthcare system was the way to go. Forcing competition and more competition upon our insurance companies was the way to go. And if we had done that, I think we would have truly reformed the system in a way that would have made it more affordable and long-lasting, as opposed to the bill that passed.
I know.
And if you look at our debt that we have right now, I don't know how we sustain this kind of spending and the projections and the increases that are going to take place from this healthcare bill.
On a personal note, you gave up your job as a prosecutor. You put it all in, if you will, into the campaign. That obviously was a decision that impacts your wife, your 6 children, a big risk. Why did you do it at a time like this when people are saying, hey, we got to hold on to what we got?
I have a job that I love. I love being the Ashland County DA. It's the best job I've ever had. It was wonderful, and I enjoyed serving the people in Ashland County. But I think we face serious times, and I think we need to get the country back on track. And as this campaign was ramping up into the summer and the fall, I think I would have struggled to do everything. I'm a full-time father, I'm a full-time husband, I was a full-time DA and a full-time candidate. And I was basically put in a situation where something had to give. I couldn't do it all. I started off with no gray hair, and it started to come in full force now. And so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go for this. I'm gonna campaign full-time. I think there's too much riding on this election. And I have a wife who's fully supportive. And obviously, you couldn't do it with 6 kids unless your wife was on board. And she's been great, not only picking up my role in the house when I'm gone, but also she's an active participant in what we do in the campaign on our strategy and our ideas and our speeches, everything she's part of. So I just thought it was worth it to take the risk. Okay, I thank you guys for coming in and asking the questions. I appreciate Newt coming as well. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you, Sean.